Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring you guys an update on Bitcoin. Right now we're at 38.35. We're up 2.71%. And we're going to get into this today, guys. We're going to be looking at it on the one-day chart, so we're going to step back. We're really going to look at some areas, some important things that have to hold. Upside targets, downside targets. We're going to get into it. First of all, I just want to say, anyone out there who was going through this windstorm that we've been dealing with, we're praying for you guys. At our house here, it was crazy. It was like gusts up to 70 miles an hour winds and trees down all over the place. And we live in we have 2 acres and we live on a little house. It's only 828 square feet, but it looks like an old state park or something because we have these oak trees. I mean, guys, on 2 acres, you're talking probably 60, 70 big oak trees that are over 100 years old. And with that wind whipping last night, we actually had one tree that came completely out of the ground and it fell, and thank God it was at the very end of our property. We were praying all night and the Lord took care of us, so all glory and honor to him. But it was scary, guys, and you know, in this little cabin that we have here in our cars, and just worried about everything. But we lost one tree, fell down, but we were all safe, so I'm happy about that. So if any of you guys are going through that, I'm praying for all of you too, because you guys know it's a freaky thing. Power is going out and just wild. But I'm happy to be here with each and every one of you today, and we're going to get into this. So what we're looking at here is Bitcoin at 38.40, and the most important thing I can tell you is I'm looking for this trend line to continue to hold, and we're getting a bounce off it right now. We've talked about how strong trend lines are, how powerful they are. When we close below them, how trend line breaks, they can be very significant in terms of price drop. So we want to make sure that in the short-term uptrend that we've had, that this trend line, it stays established. We want to get a nice bounce off this. So far, we're basically having this Harami pattern. If you guys don't know what that is, I talked about it in my last video. I actually read out of my book in the Litecoin video, and we went through this. Basically, we have this long day, and then we have a short body day inside of this candle. Typically, you have more of like a spinning top. Sometimes it can be up in the middle of this in traditional charting, but it's basically a reversal. It's wanting to be a bullish reversal down here on the bottom. But what we need to see with that, when I read about the bullish Harami, you need confirmation. So we'd want to see how this candle closes today, and then we'd want to see continuation. And with this Harami pattern, the smaller that this body is, the more powerful it is. So my book says that, like, how if this would turn into a doji, it would be a Harami cross, and that makes it more powerful than the candle that you're seeing right now, this candlestick formation. So it's pretty interesting though, guys. The Harami, you think about it and what it says in Japanese, it's the pregnant woman. Basically, you have to think of this as the mother candle, and then you have the child inside of the mother. And that's why they call it in Japanese pregnant, or the pregnant woman. It's the harami, however you want to say it. But there's bullish haramis, and there's also bearish at the top. But you always want to wait for confirmation. But we're seeing one of these taking place on a trend line, which can make it more valuable. So am I saying that it's going to hold? I don't know yet, guys. Remember, I'm not ever going to tell you I'm your cryptocurrency expert, anything like that. I'm here to just do the best I can. I never said I'm a professional at this. I'm going to give you my opinion, and that's what we're going to go with. So, guys, we need to see this 200-day. So I'm sorry, this 100-day moving average in blue coming down here. You can see how we're also getting a bounce off that right now. So all of this is converging right now. So we're either going to go up, or we're going to be going down here. And I know people will laugh and say, yeah, it's going to go up or down. But seriously, you have to pay attention to this stuff, because these are serious percent moves to the upside and the downside that could happen depending on what happens today with this candle. If all of a sudden we get a long wick and we get pulled back from where we're at right now, and we have a long wick, and we basically have like some inverted hammer candle, something along those lines, it would almost look like we were starting to get pushed back down, and then you can start rolling over a lot of times. But you don't want a real long wick there, because that means that the bears were swatting back down when the bulls were trying to push it back up. We also want to hold this 20 EMA, and then we have the 50 coming underneath here. So this is a critical area. If someone's out there charting and everything and saying that this isn't a critical area for Bitcoin, I would strongly disagree. I think this is a very important area in Bitcoin, because it would either continue this trend, or we could potentially lose this short-term uptrend that we've been in for a while now. You know, overall, it started back here, and then we went up, and we've been doing this, but we haven't broken this low. So we're still in a short-term uptrend, and we're trying to gain on these moving averages. We want to stay up above those moving averages, and we ultimately want to get up above that 200-day moving average. That's why with Litecoin it's so important today, because we're basically sitting right on it. And we're going to have to see if we're going to close up above it, or we would have 2 days that we close below it, which isn't a good sign. So all these things are converging together, and you want to pay attention to that. Now on the upside, resistance, say we were to come in here and we had a nice blast of volume, we have to get up above where we basically came close to these tweezers. I know this is a little lower here, but we got rejected twice there. And this would be off the real bodies around 41.21. That's going to be some resistance, and we faced it back here, so this could be tough resistance to get over. That's what I'm saying. We need power off this trend line. And then above that, our next resistance would be around that 42.45. Okay, areas to the downside, obviously your 50 moving average there. And then we would look at the 35.34 for support, and that's where we had that bull flag, and it took off. So that would be a spot we definitely want to look at. And then down here, we would be looking at this area where we had this bullish engulfing candle off here. This candle engulfed this candle, and we continued to move up. So that should be a strong area too, and that would be 33.69. And then it would be to see if we have this double bottom around that 31.67 in that area. And we would see if guys bought that up. Now, if we did not get bought up and we were down there and it was a double bottom, then you're definitely looking much lower. And I want people to be prepared for that. But right now, we're still in a short-term uptrend. And that's what we have to pay attention to. Is this trend going to hold? And is it going to continue to grow into an intermediate-term trend? Or are we just going to lose it and we just roll over? So I can't stress the importance enough of the close today. It's going to be a big deal. You know, volume here, it's just, you can see our line just kind of moving right there. Which it's, you know, our volume's much better than it was back here, but that's what it's going to be whenever you're in uptrends. The volume's going to expand and grow. So these are the things that I'm looking at. Pay attention to the close today. I can't tell you that enough. I mean, if all of a sudden, guys, we have a wick here and we close down in here and we're looking at the 50, I don't know. Maybe we would hit that 50 and travel sideways for a while, and then you could ultimately have another drop down. That could happen. Or we could get up here today and make some serious moves. But this is what I'm looking at. We're at 38.40. God bless each and every one of you. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and just take care. I just really wanted to look at this Eastern technique with you all, and not throw on the RSI, anything like that. Just purely look at the candle. So that's the reason I did this. But take care, my friends.